Welcome to Grand Prix, your go-to channel for the fastest updates in Formula One. We've got 3 hot stories for you, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay ahead of the pack. Let's get started. Hey friends, we're heading into another race weekend, and there's breaking news out of the Red Bull garage. The team is set to implement urgent upgrades to Max Verstappen's car at the Miami Grand Prix. These updates are coming at a crucial time, not just for their title hopes, but for the future of Verstappen within the team itself. Let's break it down. After a shaky start to the 2025 season, Red Bull finds itself in an unfamiliar position, scrambling to improve performance and calm the rising tension within its own camp. The reigning world champion, Max Verstappen, has made it crystal clear, if the team cannot show meaningful progress soon, particularly with the RB21's consistency and race pace, he'll consider leaving the team at the end of the year. This isn't just about staying competitive in the championship. It's about convincing one of the sport's greatest drivers to remain committed long-term. And that pressure has accelerated Red Bull's development timeline. According to sources within the paddock, the Red Bull engineering team has chosen to introduce a new floor for Verstappen's car this very weekend in Miami, even though it's a sprint weekend with limited practice time. The goal of this new floor is twofold: increase downforce in specific areas of the car and deliver better overall balance, allowing Verstappen to push closer to the limit and extract more consistent performance across a race stint. Another key benefit? The team is hoping to address tire degradation, a recurring issue that has plagued Red Bull across recent rounds. Rapid tire wear has compromised strategy and robbed Verstappen of pace during the latter stages of multiple races, a pattern that cannot continue if they want to stay in the title hunt. The decision to bring such an important upgrade to a sprint weekend, where teams only get one free practice session, wasn't taken lightly. But the urgency of the situation outweighed the risks. Red Bull wants immediate driver feedback from Verstappen to determine if they've taken a step in the right direction, and how best to evolve the package ahead of the European leg of the calendar. Interestingly, Yuki Tsunoda, Red Bull's second driver, won't be receiving the updated floor in Miami. He'll continue running the older specification, with his upgrade expected to arrive at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix in Imola. There, the team plans to debut a more comprehensive upgrade package, including redesigned side pods and further aerodynamic tweaks to boost airflow and rear-end stability. So this weekend is essentially a litmus test. If Verstappen responds positively to the new floor, it will serve as a baseline for further development. But if it doesn't deliver as expected, Red Bull could be facing not just another underwhelming result, but the risk of losing its star driver altogether. We're watching a pivotal moment for Red Bull unfold in real time. Now it's over to you. Do you believe these new updates will finally turn the tide for Red Bull? Or are you starting to lose faith in the team's ability to fix the RB21 and hold on to Verstappen? Drop your thoughts below and stay tuned, because this championship battle is only getting more intense. Quick and straight to the point, here's a major update from the world of Formula One. According to a report by the reputable German newspaper Bild, Sergio Perez has signed a 3-year contract with the Cadillac F1 team, set to debut on the grid in 2026. This news arrives just days after we first reported on rumors of negotiations between Cadillac and the experienced Mexican driver. Perez, currently in Miami for the Grand Prix weekend, is expected to be officially announced by Cadillac as early as this Saturday. This move would mark a significant chapter in Perez's career and the boldest step yet for Cadillac as it prepares to join the Formula One grid. With a proven track record from Red Bull Racing and years of experience in top-tier teams, Perez offers Cadillac exactly what they need: technical insight, racecraft maturity, and the ability to help shape the early development of their car. Cadillac's choice isn't just about racing skill. It's also about leadership. Starting from scratch in a sport as technically demanding as Formula One requires a driver who knows how to communicate with engineers, develop feedback under pressure, and carry a team through inevitable growing pains. Sergio Perez fits that profile perfectly. Beyond Perez, Cadillac is reportedly still pursuing its ambition to bring in an American driver. However, if that doesn't materialize, Plan B seems to be Zhou Guanyu. Formerly of Alfa Romeo and currently a reserve at Ferrari, Zhou brings experience with the Ferrari power units, the same engines Cadillac will run in its early years. He's also known for his consistent development work and solid feedback in simulator sessions. The decision to sign Perez shows that Cadillac wants more than just participation. They want a strong foundation. A driver who knows how to score points, develop a car, and help elevate a new team in one of the most competitive sports in the world. What does this mean for Red Bull and the rest of the grid? For starters, it suggests that Red Bull may not be planning to renew Perez's contract after 2025. That leaves a potential open seat next to Max Verstappen, assuming he stays. It also hints that Cadillac is serious about entering F1 with a competitive mindset from day one, not just showing up to fill numbers. We now wait for the official confirmation. If Build is right, and Perez is indeed announced this weekend, the F1 landscape for 2026 begins to take a very interesting shape. So what do you think? Do you believe Sergio Perez is the right choice to lead Cadillac's debut in Formula One? Would you have opted for a different strategy, perhaps a younger, long-term prospect? Is this the beginning of a new chapter in F1, or a gamble from a new team aiming too high too soon? Stay tuned. More updates coming soon. The Miami Grand Prix weekend was already brimming with anticipation, but the sprint race quickly became a showcase of unpredictability and tension, shaped heavily by the whims of the weather. Concerns about heavy rainfall loomed from the start, and it didn't take long for those fears to materialize. As the drivers lined up for their reconnaissance laps ahead of the sprint, the conditions were already treacherous. The track was soaked, visibility was severely limited, and every corner posed a risk. The first major incident came almost immediately. Charles Leclerc, one of the weekend's hopefuls and a consistent contender in his Ferrari, lost control on the slippery surface. He slid off track and collided with the barrier, damaging his car and eliminating himself from the sprint before it had even officially begun. It was a crushing blow for both the driver and the team, especially given the competitive pace Ferrari had shown during practice. Despite the intensity of the rain easing slightly by the scheduled start time, the circuit remained drenched, with pools of water threatening aquaplaning at multiple sections. As a safety precaution, race control decided that the formation lap, the warm-up lap, where drivers bring their tires up to temperature and prepare for the start, would be conducted entirely behind a safety car. The cars snaked around the Miami track cautiously, kicking up thick trails of spray that made it almost impossible for those further back in the pack to see what lay ahead. Over the team radios, complaints flooded in. Drivers struggled to identify braking points or even see their rivals ahead. The spray created a dense wall of mist, and what little grip was available was hard to find. Even reigning world champion Max Verstappen wasn't immune to the challenges. During the formation lap, he overshot a corner and veered into the escape road. In a controlled spin, Verstappen managed to recover without damage, pulling a quick donut and returning to the grid, but the incident underscored the treacherous state of the track. Race officials quickly took action. The start procedure was suspended, and the red flag was waved, halting the event entirely. A 28-minute delay followed, during which teams, fans, and commentators speculated on whether the sprint would happen at all. It was a nerve-wracking wait that mirrored the overall uncertainty of racing in such variable weather conditions. Eventually, the rain let up just enough for the race to proceed, though not without further adjustments. Originally scheduled for 19 laps, the sprint was officially shortened to 18 laps. But with the first 2 laps once again completed behind the safety car, only 16 laps of true racing action remained. What followed was a tense, condensed battle where drivers had little time to strategize or recover from errors. With the damp surface gradually drying out, teams faced the challenge of tire selection and pressure adjustments on the fly. Overtaking was cautious but aggressive where opportunities allowed, and maintaining track position was more critical than ever. Although the full grid participated, minus Leclerc, whose crash barred him from rejoining, the tone of the sprint was far more conservative than fans might have hoped for. Still, it offered important insights into car behavior under mixed conditions and gave teams valuable data ahead of the main race. For some, it was a chance to grab precious championship points. For others, it was about survival and damage control. This Miami sprint served as a stark reminder of how fragile success in Formula One can be. Weather, timing, and even a single mistake can alter the entire complexion of a weekend. As teams now shift focus to the Grand Prix itself, all eyes remain on the skies and on the strategists hoping for a clearer path forward.